Yo, people, welcome back to another YouTube video. You already know what time it is. It's time for the all-you-can-eat Chelsea episode, and it is lateness is greatness on my part because I've been absolutely just mentally gone. I don't think I'm in the real world anymore. I think Squid Game has captured me and taken me into an alternate universe because I sent the link into the chat. Bless these guys. They were in it on time, and I was just in my own universe, just be like, please, don't kill each other. Miz is like, yo, where are you? Like, what? Oh, God, Younes, Miz, how are you boys doing, man? How you doing, bro?
I mean, Matisse, you're only 30 minutes late, so that's fine. That's okay.
It could be worse.
It could be worse.
He could be eliminated.
He could be eliminated.
I thought I was gone. I'm not going to lie to you. I had to look back and be like, am I still here?
By the way, I was looking at that intro and it just reminded me of the good old days when I had a haircut. Good thing, and also trim. Good thing, we are going to be out of lockdown from Monday. All finished. 70% of the New South Wales population has hit double vaccination. 80% will be in about another week and a bit. So international travel will start again with New South Wales. Will be the only state in Australia that will have international flight. Every other state are still going to be locked down because they haven't hit those numbers yet. So yeah, man, can't wait for a haircut. Yes.
I'm surprised, like you haven't actually gone on like YouTube and tried to do it yourself at this rate.
I did.
Like mirror in hand.
It didn't work out for me, but there's no saying it won't work out for you.
What's going on, bro?
Bro, don't even talk to me. You just made me remember. Oh God, 4,000 people.
I saw the live chat in
my neck for like half an hour straight.
People calling you Sadio Mane, man.
Yeah, but nobody in real life has said anything. Like I've met a few people in real life, they haven't really said anything. So I don't think it's as bad as what the chat made out. But I'm still very annoyed with it now. I'm getting angry just even looking at myself.
£30 for that, bro. That's
how much?
£30,
bro. I've let Younes.
Yo, where did you get conned? I'll go and find him.
Ealing in West London. I don't know whether to leave it a 1 star on Google because I was in Shepherd's Bush and I was in West anyway, so I just went more west. I should never have done that. I should have went south.
That's nearly 60 AUD, probably about 55 or something like that. Do you know what I can get with 55 AUD?
A week shopping?
A high fade, bit of massage, nice trim. Do you know what I mean? Like the works.
Could have went HD cuts.
And you got and you got that. Wow.
You got the money.
My girlfriend's coming over tomorrow as well, man.
Oh, wear a hat. Wear a hat.
Safe to say you ain't getting no action, Matisse.
McDonald's bag.
Younes, bro, how are you, man? I'm absolutely awful.
I'm good, man. I mean, it's fitting. I've had some scran. As the Geordies say, you know, we're all going to have to get ourselves familiar with Newcastle slang because they're about to take over not just England, but world football. So, yeah, man, apart from that, I'm good.
I saw your video on it and I was inspired because I mean I saw the news on Twitter, but I was like, I don't know if I really want to talk about this yet. Is it really going to happen? And then I seen momentum building. I was like, oh shit, this is really going to happen. And then I see Newcastle fans putting up their, wild X11 if they can pick it for the next 2 windows, and Mbappe's up front with Erling Haaland. I'm like, okay, cool, this is getting a bit ridiculous.
You know what? They need to calm down. I mean, I saw Younes' video, right? And obviously Younes was gassed in that whole video. It was like almost as if he was a Newcastle fan for a second. But
there is an imposter among us.
But I've got a different take on it. Obviously, we'll talk a little bit about it, and I'll share my take on it. I don't think it's going to be that easy that it's going to catapult to the top of the Premier League, after they. But anyway,
I seen your tweet. I seen the reply to Younes. I seen all the thread, and I was going to get involved, but I was too busy just, getting
haircuts from Squid Game
and being late.
But in terms of that, I mean, it's another oil club coming into the Premier League, and I'm kind of excited because we've had Man City, we've had Chelsea, but the thing is with Manchester City and Chelsea, and Man City don't really get enough credit for this, and this is why I will stick up for them. They did improve their facilities, they did improve their training facilities, they did improve, all of their staff and everything. Like they have gone, obviously with Pep, they of course have to improve their staff now, and they've gone into the back room. And I get what Miz is about to say is in terms of building up from the bottom is not just what you can see on the outside with the squad and the star players. You need to make sure that you have the coach to match, the staff to match, the infrastructure to match, the training ground. That's all going to take a lot of time. I don't think Newcastle are just going to come out of nowhere and win the Premier League next season. But this is a massive play. If you're Arsenal and Tottenham, you are shitting yourself.
You are finished. Tottenham, see ya.
They're actually done at this rate. They're actually finished.
They are actually eliminated.
It is finished. It is game over. Keep the references coming. I love it. If you haven't watched Squid Game, people, I highly recommend it. Honestly, it's brilliant.
By the way, watch it in the Korean version, not the watch it proper.
Put subtitles up and watch it in the Korean version. It's so much better.
Love it. Yeah.
But I mean, Younes, how do you feel about it? Are you excited? Are you nervous? Because they're spending. What you said is what I want to open up with. It's the access. It's not the budget. It's not the transfer. It's the access to the funds. It's not funds that they immediately have, but it's what they could obtain if their owner was to do a madness.
Exactly.
They got a lot of money.
Mate, it's scary the amount of money that's just there, I guess, at this rate. And to have that possibility, and that's the big question mark, because they might do what Arsenal do. I mean, they won't, but you never know. They could just be like, oh, we'll invest a little bit, and then Newcastle will probably still be in and around the same situation, maybe getting better gradually. But if they just done a madness and woke up one morning and went, right, 20 billion injection, into the club. And I understand I've got some people that have told me, but Younes, there's FFP, there's some regulations in place. I get that completely, but they could buy FFP at this rate if they wanted to. Like,
you already know how corrupt the system is.
Mate, the system's so corrupt, it's ridiculous. And what's really highlighted me here, for me to look at this and go, you know what, this isn't just going to be a takeover and people that don't know what they're doing. Amanda Stavley, who runs the PCP capital firm that's leading this takeover, she was instrumental in the Man City Sheikh Mansour takeover. She helped with that, and she got that over the line, and she got commission from it. And she's a big business mind. And now PCP are not just helping. They are part of the bid. They are part of this takeover. So they definitely have people in this that know what they're doing. And I think if you look at how Man City have managed to do it, Newcastle, I think, are going to go down the same path. But the only difference is Sheikh Mansour and what their assets are, 23 billion in terms of how much he has. This is 320 billion that they could have access to, bruv. This is ridiculous. And it's insane. And yes, it's not going to be overnight, because you have clubs that are already so far ahead in terms of progression, tools, resources, academy, everything, structure, players, teams, managers. But the same way we started in 2004, 2003, 2004, getting rid of Ranieri was the first step. You remember? Straight away, Jose Mourinho. Players in the summer, revolution. Man City coming, Sheikh Mansour. Boom, gets everything up and running in terms of resources, starts buying players. You remember the Robinho deal, and then bits and pieces, and then progression from there. Aguero, yeah, exactly. And then you end up buying Aguero. You end up getting all these sort of lads coming in. You find success. Newcastle are not Man City in terms of the club. I feel like Newcastle have more in terms of a club, in terms of its organic roots. The fans are there already. The stadium is there already. The passion is there already. You add money like this and good brains, mate, it's going to get mad. It's going to get mad.
This is why I'm excited.
We're already hearing Steve Bruce is about to lose his job. So things are being done. Things are being done already.
He hasn't gone yet. He will. He needs to walk out.
Yeah, you don't keep Steve Bruce in charge of any sort of ambitious, forward-thinking project. It just doesn't happen. That is a man that keeps you up. I'm personally, as much as obviously it's going to be crazy, it's going to shake up the system. I think we're in a position as a club where we're still going to be competing. Newcastle can only field 11 players on the pitch. That's never going to change. They're never going to be able to field 20 unless they really buy the rules in the different type of way that I've never seen before with the money that they have. And I'm not even ruling that out. But we are at a point, Man City is at a point, Liverpool is at a point, Manchester United, despite not winning anything, is at a point where we'll always be up there. So that will just be another team into the hat. Arsenal, Tottenham's, Leicester's, West Ham's, they're going to be like, either they've already dipped and they're dipping more, or their hard work to get to this point is about to be undone if you're a Leicester or West Ham. But I must say, that club really deserve it. I feel like I'm not saying because of historically, because they haven't been winning titles, they haven't been finishing high up. They don't. Their club doesn't exactly warrant success. They haven't had loads of success to go back to. But I'm just talking about in terms of a group of people that have suffered and a group of people that back their club to the hills. That City, they deserve it. And I'm quite happy for them that they're going to get this, because it's what that City needs. It's what that club needs. They've been on Mike Ashley's, paycheck for so long, and there is no paycheck there. It doesn't exist. It's just Sports Direct mugs. So it's nice to see that they're actually going to be, given this. It's the same lease of life we was given. And they're like you said, they got the fan base for it. So it is completely different to Man City. There is already a natural, organic set of people that are going to absolutely love this. There's not going to need a whole new wave. It's a whole city behind it. But Miz, tell me about some of your reservations, because I need to hear it.
First thing, as Younes was saying in regards to whether they're going to be depending on, are they going to absolutely ball out and inject a lot of money, or are they going to be kind of like Arsenal sort of style where little bits and pieces? I've lived in Abu Dhabi 4 years of my life a long time ago when I was young, right? And I can tell you one thing: Arabs, they only know one way, and it's to ball out. There is no middle ground, bits and pieces. I just remember my Arab friends back, like I'd go over to their place and they just thrash money for parties, have all sorts of, they know how to throw an event. So I've got no doubt the Saudi Arabian, the backing that Newcastle are supposedly having with the amount of money, they will dish out. They will absolutely dish out. And there will be creative accountants to make sure that FFP is looked after and whatnot. Now, here's the thing though. When we got taken over a long time ago, we didn't have so many clubs that are so well organized right now as it is in English Premier League. You've got your Man Uniteds, you've got your Cities, you've got your Liverpools, us obviously, and even some of the middle range teams like your Aston Villas and whatnot. They're very organized clubs, and by organized, what I mean is, decent manager, infrastructure, good sporting directors, making sure the right transfers are done. So it's not going to be easy for Newcastle just coming in and they think they're going to be top four. I highly doubt that. First of all, they need to survive this season.
That's the key.
Do you know what I mean? So
you don't want to go down.
I'm not really sure what their situation. What are they now? 17?
I think so.
I had them down to be relegated actually before.
Look, I would love it. Can you imagine? Because all of this stuff won't, or unless they can start inserting.
They would blitz the championship though. Jesus Christ, that would be murder.
Let me have a quick look at this. Newcastle's 19th. Newcastle's 19th. Okay, so let's say this happens today, tomorrow.
Yeah,
they would need to get a top range manager. So they're going to get rid of Steve Bruce. Who are they getting in? Who are some of the top range managers that are available right now? I want to ask you, boys.
Conte, Zidane, yeah. I think
you think Conte is going to Newcastle 19th. It'll surely be just purely for the money, the amount of salary.
That, for sure. And I think maybe the project going into next season might just tempt him.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe. So let's say, argument's sake, it is Conte.
Yeah.
And he's somewhere dwindling around that 18, 19, 17 position come January transfer window. Yeah. Who's going to Newcastle in January?
Again,
whoever wants money.
Whoever wants them wages. That money talks, baby, you know. Money.
I just can't see how big time players will be going to Newcastle in January. Do you know what I mean?
January's tough as a window already.
Tough. But you'll get some players. There's some really good promising purchases on free transfers as well. But because those contracts are running out in the summer, if Newcastle come and say, listen, we'll give you $5 million now, or you leave them for free in 3 or 4 months, what do you want? Some clubs might buy the opportunity to say, all right, cool, we'll let them go. So there could be some, if they're smart, this is where Newcastle need to be clever, because they're not going to be able to just buy everything immediately, because you're right, in January window, no one's moving like that. But if they're quite smart and coy with their moves, they will be able to pick up some decent purchases, maybe some good loans. Again, I think everybody that walks into Newcastle in January, whether it's the manager or the players, they're all thinking of the season after. They're not thinking about this season. This season, there's no Europe, there's no nothing. It's just stay up, and then God knows just what survive. We can do next season.
Just don't get relegated.
But if you guys remember Manchester City, when they had Craig Bellamy, and they had Joe, and they had Stephen Ireland and Robinho, they were always flirting around that top 4, 5th, 6th range with Tottenham. Remember those last minute winners, Peter Crouch at the Manchester Stadium, back-to-back years. Actually, they had a Manchester City and Tottenham game late on in the season, and it was Peter
really
Crouch.
The Mancini time where they really kicked on.
Yeah,
Mark Hughes days were rubbish for City.
Yeah, but they gradually moved up. They didn't just become Premier League champions immediately. They had a couple of years fighting for top 4, and then obviously they won the Premier League as well. And I think that was it under Mark? Who was it under Mancini? Who's the first one? The first Premier League.
No, was it Pellegrini?
No, Pellegrini was.
Pellegrini
was
after,
it was Mancini, I think. Pellegrini's after. Yeah.
Balotelli was around.
Mancini. So that was the first one. So Mark Hughes had to do all the groundwork, and I think Newcastle, you probably would have similar there. But you ask any Newcastle fan, they're not even thinking of top 4. I think if for them, being back in the top half and being even fighting for European places, Europa League, Conference League, that is a massive step up to where they are. I mean, you just said they're 19th, isn't it? So
they're 19th.
Yeah.
If I'm any other Premier League teams and I've got Newcastle coming up, I'd want to beat them so bad and make sure they relegated, and the Saudi Arabian, money goes into the Championship and they can do madness over there. Do you know what I mean? Because
can you imagine like TV rights of the Championship become higher than the Premier League?
the whole of Saudi Arabia will be watching Newcastle. See, that's the other thing.
Newcastle versus Millwall. So
you just know straight away the amount of money Newcastle's going to make just from Saudi Arabia. Every Saudi Arabian there will be following Newcastle. There'll be Newcastle. So first team is Saudi Arabia, and then maybe Al Hilal or whatever other clubs that they have, and then Newcastle. Do you know what I mean? So from that perspective. But look, honestly, it's going to be a long haul. They got to get a sporting director. Transfers are not going to be that easy. You can throw money. At the end of the day, you got to sell a project. I don't know if I don't know if money is the difference maker for players like, I don't know, let's just say for argument's sake, who's a super Neymar? Do you know what I mean? Like, he's already making a lot of money at PSG.
I think they're shopping in the caliber just below those world-class players, maybe like a João Felix, someone who needs a new challenge, maybe potentially in the future. I mean, Atletico Madrid are doing pretty well right now. But
change much, man? Is he going to storm the Premier League? I'm not scared about João Felix. We'll take care of him. Our defense will take care of him.
I'm not gonna lie, we struggle against Newcastle away from him at the best of times, let alone when they got money and backing behind them. We struggle against relegated Newcastle teams at St James's Park. We still can't get a win against them. I think we've actually got them soon as well.
October, we do. October 30th is when we play Newcastle. They'll have a new manager by then, I reckon, for sure. So be careful, we might lose. But no, you know what? To share that sentiment, I agree. I don't think Newcastle are going to go in and be like, okay, let's go and buy Mbappe now. Like, no, you have to kind of go up the ladder a little bit in the same way City did, in the same way Chelsea did at the very beginning. We didn't go in and get Ronaldinho at the time. You remember, even though that's what Roman wanted, Mourinho was like, nah, get me that little lad called Drogba, from Marseille. Yeah. No one really knew of it. He knew of it, but they didn't know of him. He come here and lit it up. I think, Newcastle have to go along the same wavelength. They have to build slowly and keep that stability. If you come and get an Mbappe in, dressing room is already in a little bit of a madness from get.
He wouldn't come anyway.
You know?
He's heart set on Real Madrid.
Can you imagine Shane Longstaff or whoever and looking at
Got to build clever.
It'd be crazy. But this is where you got to really build. I feel like players, as you just mentioned, like, you know, João Felix. Another one that springs to mind, if no one picks him up, Chiesa. You know, a player like that could be tempted to come to the Premier League.
Kind of like the Juventus jersey as well.
Asset. Exactly.
It would be a madness. You know what? Buying young as well.
Imagine they sell the project and come and join the English Juventus.
yeah. You get paid more. He'd do it. So
you gotta get young,
smart.
young.
You gotta be smart.
Yeah, don't go buying like, you know, 32-year-olds and 30-year-olds. Then you put yourself in a situation where, of course, look, we know you're rich, but you always got a plan for the future and try and have resale value as well. Especially when you're starting off at the beginning, try and build something for the long term and put yourself up there for the next 3-4 years. So, but I think they will be quite, you know, clever with their purchases, unless they get the complete wrong setup, wrong director, wrong manager, and unless they just go to win the league as soon as possible, which I don't think is wise, because you can never guarantee the league no matter what you do. But if they try and build, you know, for a sustainable, good, long future here, I think they'll be fine. But I am interested to see, is like Miz said, with the infrastructure and all that stuff behind the scenes as well, just how quickly they act. But if it sounds like it could go through today, it's going to be very, very exciting.
Like today, yeah,
very, very exciting.
The one thing that I think we got to realize here, as you mentioned earlier, this isn't about, you know, for Newcastle, this isn't about going and winning the league, getting Mbappe, Haaland straight away. Like, no, I think what I've been reading and hearing from Newcastle fans is they're just relieved. They're really happy. Just they're getting their club back. Simple, you know. They're going to be having good resources. I think people that eventually will come in that will know what they're doing. Newcastle's a proper organic football club, and Mike Ashley has torn that club to pieces. And I think Newcastle fans are more relieved at that than what's coming. But with what's coming, they're getting that sense of, wow, this wait is over. We're finally looking forward to something with our football club. And to be honest, Newcastle fans deserve it. Out of everyone in the land, everyone in England, Newcastle fans are some of the best fans in the country, and they deserve it. So congrats to them.
I want to ask you boys one thing though, and we kind of touched on this a little bit, but I really want to sort of dig deep on it a little bit. Eventually, when Newcastle does get to that situation where they've got a good infrastructure, you know, good sporting director, good manager, good youth academy system, stadium may be renovated and then got more capacity and whatnot, state-of-the-art training grounds and all of the jazz that comes with all of this money. Which club seriously is now in big issue? Because you're Man City, they'll probably hang on. Chelsea will hang on as well. As long as Roman's there, he'll pump in the money. He loves it. For him, I used to think a long time ago it was business, but it's not. He actually loves football. He loves Chelsea. He loves London. So we're happy days as long as, you know, Roman sticks around. So you got your City, you got your Chelsea, you got Man United. You've got a lot of money. You know, they're, you know, publicly.
I think they're in trouble. You know, I think they're
Man United.
I think Man United and Liverpool, if you're talking about teams now, after the ones we've mentioned that are the obvious ones, the next two teams to watch out for me would be Liverpool and Manchester United, because they're the ones that they don't have that financial backing the same way we do, the same way City do, the same way Arsenal do if they were to actually spend the money they have. But obviously it's not going to happen, so I'll take them out of it. And the same way now Newcastle will. Like Man United, they will spend, but I feel like they're spending a lot because it's a lot of PR and it's a lot to appease, not because they're ambitious to change. Otherwise, they would have sacked Oli, in my opinion. But to give him the new contract after the Europa League defeat in the final tells me that, yeah, they might be a bit ambitious, but they're also a little bit PR. And they're also a little bit, how can we keep the fans on side while we continue to, you know, just get by and just make, just make ends meet. And you look at it with the Ronaldo sign. And again, that wasn't planned. They needed a DM. They saw Man City moving. They thought, oh, damn, just get him. But again, is Ronaldo going to win them the Premier League? In my opinion, no, he's not. So it's Manchester United just reacting to situations and not being proactive. They're reacting. And they had a great window. And even still, I don't think that's enough because they just haven't. Man United always see, they reminded me of Arsenal when Arsenal had a great team. When Arsenal had Alex Song, Fabregas, Santi Cazorla, Van Persie, Nasri. Like they're reminding me of that team where they got such a great team, but they're always missing something. They're always missing this one position, or they're missing this manager. And as long as that goes on, then a Newcastle could easily, cause them issues, because Man United have not won anything in 5 years now, isn't it? It's going to be 5 years after this season, I think. So that's a long time for us to keep. Yeah, that's a long time for us to keep saying, "Oh, Man United is still in it." Man United have to win something first and foremost for them to continue to be in this conversation, or they're going to be at threat. Another read with Liverpool, because we all know Liverpool's spending power is very limited as well. Liverpool have always been very clever in the transfer market, great scouting. Andy Robertson from Hull City.
That's the edge that they have.
Yeah,
that's but how long can that
last?
How long will that last? Yeah,
how long can that last is the question. And Klopp as well, because I think if you take Klopp out of Liverpool, a lot of that team start playing way below the level that they're showing right now. I think I've said this so many times, I think he's got that Liverpool team playing above a lot of their levels. Some of them are world-class players, but some of them,
I agree,
they're very good, but they were not playing on that level before Klopp. If you look at that midfield, especially, Henderson, Wijnaldum when he was there, James Milner.
I wish Grizz was here. Grilled him right now.
That midfield, grilling Grizz. That midfield is just not. For me, it's not. It's not world class. Chamberlain. I can't even remember Keita. I don't think these guys are world class, but I think Klopp in that system's just got them playing in it's a lot of pressing, it's a lot of covering grounds for the fullbacks, and it suits them. But in terms of world-class technicians, they just don't exist in that midfield. Obviously, the fullbacks are high chance creators and the forward line's doing great. But also that Liverpool team, you look at the age of it as well with a lot of those players. Firmino is coming to his 30. Salah is going to be looking for his last big contract, 300 to 400k, who's being rumoured. Mane the same. Van Dijk, just come back from an injury, is going to be hitting that 30 in a couple of years. And a lot of the other top players. So that's a team that they're doing great and they're in the title race right now, but give it 2-3 years, they're going to have to spin that team over. We'll see how hungry Klopp is still to be there. He might want a new challenge, and they're going to have to do some shuffling. And by the time they have to do that,
Klopp might want to go to Newcastle.
Newcastle will just be in a few years deep. Newcastle will be a few years deep, and that's where the change of power could be coming in. So I put those two there as like not high risk, but if you want to go, medium risk, then maybe we'll go with those.
Klopp's going to be a Geordie, isn't he? Klopp's going to be a Geordie.
Bro, it would suit them.
It would suit. Oh my god, it would suit.
Oh my god, are you crazy? Him going like this at the end. Loving it.
That would be crazy. They'd be throwing beers at him, bruv. It'd be crazy.
Bro, I'm telling you, Klopp would suit Newcastle to the ground.
If we're having this conversation, does that mean Arsenal and Spurs are mudded?
They have to be.
They are very mudded.
They need to disappear.
Finished.
They're finished.
So, all right. Okay. Arsenal and Tottenham, you have been eliminated. Let's talk. But you know what? Liverpool's an interesting one. Liverpool's interesting because they have this, again, they got Klopp that gets them playing a certain way and it works, but they have this over-reliance on that front three, that attacking power they have. And once that begins to have a little demise, what else do Liverpool have? I feel like there's already something there at the club. Meaning, if Klopp does leave, which I think he will eventually, he's been there, 5-6 years?
Yeah.
He won't last much longer. Managers do not last that long anymore. Let's have it right. And even for him personally, he might want a new challenge, or Newcastle might come.
At some point, someone's got to get bored.
This is the thing, I really, really doubt we'll get an Alex Ferguson or Wenger from Klopp. Very doubtful. I think, though, even behind the scenes, they probably know this, and I think many people know this, but they just don't pay much attention to it. When Klopp leaves, I think Gerrard will become that new manager.
Yeah.
And if Gerrard comes into Liverpool, I don't think it's going to hit the same success as Klopp. That's just my personal opinion. But
it's going to be
you never know.
Extremely different to eclipse that.
But it would mean changing things up completely. And that's where I think Liverpool might have a little bit of a dip. They might bounce back up eventually, but that dip is what we're talking about now and getting left behind. If Newcastle overlap them, Newcastle have now joined the big boys, then Liverpool are going to find it hard. Man United, 5 years without a trophy.
The last time they won the league was 2013 or something.
Yeah, it was. 8 years.
A long time ago, man.
We're coming up to a decade soon.
That's a Man United team with all that heritage, all that they are one of the most successful clubs in world football.
They were winning it 3 times on a trot when I was in school.
That
was painful to watch 3 times in a row.
Do you know what, Matisse? We talk about the era when Roman took over from sort of early 2000s and our dominance from early 2000 till about, late 2010s, sort of early 2011, 12s. We talk about how dominant we were. They were just as dominant during that period where they were winning league titles.
It was us and
regularly.
them.
Yeah.
Completely. With Man United now, though, you talked about how Arsenal started their decline. And it's true. You're beginning to see that a little bit now. Hovering around 4th is where if Newcastle will join the party, Man United could be that team that just get 4th. And that's how Arsenal were a few years ago, you remember. And then that dipped to 5th, 6th, and then 2 seasons in 8th. And nothing. All of a sudden, no European football, still not winning anything. Might get the odd League Cup, FA Cup, who knows, just like Arsenal did. But under Oli, it's just not going to work. And Man United's problem is if Newcastle come tap him for a Conte, for example, if Zidane is tapped by someone else, if he goes to the French national team, which is the rumour after the World Cup, by the way, or PSG, Zidane has Marseille affiliation. I don't know if he would. If the money's good, maybe he would. But he could end up with France. There's so many different options here. Man United got to act, and if they don't, they're screwed. Simple.
Anybody here think we could be at risk? I mean, we haven't won a title since 2017. Obviously, won the Champions League, so I'm really trying here to push this devil's advocate just to.
Mate, what's going to happen this year?
I'll tell you what's going to happen.
Man City have that trophy in a box, first class, Stamford Bridge, SW6, 1HS. It's all.
I tell you what, our number 10s need to fix up now. Going into this next run of fixtures, obviously. I mean, let me go through our fixtures now because we've spoken a lot about Newcastle and their potential threat. Let's kind of round off the show on our potential threat for the fixtures we have coming back, because I guess when we next speak, we're going to be approaching Brentford, and that's going to be away, and that's a difficult game. Brentford have been playing really well, but I'll read you out our next few fixtures. So obviously Brentford away, Malmo at home in the Champions League, Norwich at home, Southampton at home in the Carabao Cup, Newcastle away, Conte's first match. Imagine. Malmo away, Burnley at home. So I'll stop there because then it starts to get difficult again. That's scary. How many points do you see? I mean, how many wins do you see us taking from those next 7 games? Sorry, I guess.
Has to be all wins.
I mean, the last time I
think of any other way.
The last time I done this, something like this, it
backfired.
I remember. I remember.
Yeah,
Lampard got sacked.
Was this last year? And then we went on an absolute train wreck of a run.
Mate,
you and George Benson gassed me up so much.
I know, mate. We gassed ourselves up.
Oh no.
But I mean, we got Tuchel in it. I'm hoping that's the difference maker. Fingers crossed. But yeah, I agree with Miz. It should be. It should be all wins.
Younes. Brentford's going to be tough. It ain't going to be easy.
That's the toughest.
Brentford won't be easy.
And this is the thing, we talk about Newcastle being, getting a new owner. Well, wait till you play Brentford, mate. Try and beat Brentford. So that's first thing. We need to get over that.
Corrupt FMFC. Yeah.
We got Norwich. If we lose to a team that hasn't won a game yet this season.
If we draw to a team that hasn't won a game yet.
At the Bridge, surely not.
No.
Then seriously, we don't deserve to be in the title race. Just take us off. Everyone else have party. Burnley, I think they're in the relegation zone as well, right?
I believe so.
Pretty
sure. I mean, they're all, I just assume at this point
they're always hovering around there anyway.
They're always hovering. That's where they live.
That's where they live.
And Newcastle, and we've seen they're 19th. So if we can't get all W's here,
but that's the thing.
We need Jesus.
That's the thing. Is it realistic though? This is.
Maybe Gabriel Jesus. He did score against us.
This is where it's logical, and this is the mistake we made last season with Benson. It's logical looking at these games going win, 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 right? But realistically, that would mean 6 or 7 wins on the bounce. It can happen. It has been done. We've done it. But is it realistic? I don't know.
Younes,
maybe a draw.
We'd added Lukaku and Thomas Tuchel, and we're not even playing the same caliber of teams that we kind of played last season during that time frame.
Yeah.
If we can't do it now, we'll never do it. We'll never do it.
No, you're right. One thing I want to highlight with these games that we've just mentioned is the time span, because this does play a factor, especially with other teams that have longer rest. We have Brentford on the 16th. 4 days later, we got Malmo in the Champions League at home. 3 days later, we got Norwich at home. 3 days later, we've got Southampton at home, which is all good because it's all at home. 4 days later, we've got Newcastle away. 3 days later, we've got Malmo away. 4 days later, we've got Burnley at home. It's crammed.
Yeah.
It's crammed.
You don't think there's enough breaks with the squad that we have?
Hopefully.
Let's talk about the squad we have. How good is our depth?
Fantastic.
Do you think it's still fantastic, or do you think? Because do you know what? I spoke about this on the Premier League show, and I while I was speaking, I was kind of like listening to myself. I was like, "Damn, do I really believe what I'm saying here, or am I just doing prop?" But you know what it is. You know when you're talking to when you're talking to your mates, like when you're talking to your Chelsea mates, you try and be completely honest about your team, and you're giving the hardcore truths. But when you go out there into the public domain and you go onto the TV, you try and do a bit of Chelsea prop because the rivals are listening, and again you want to shed some good light on the club. So you try and give all the positive as much as possible because you're not at home, you're away from home, and you don't want to start drawing out individuals and whatnot. I don't want to do that unless they're doing absolute stinkers for a good long period. Like my tolerance level is going to be a lot higher because I want to give good. We're top of the league. I don't want to be negative for no reason. We're top of the league. Yeah. We've had the hardest set of fixtures. Yes, there's some players that are not doing the business, but I'd rather focus on the ones that were good. So I focused on Timo Werner, who had a great game. Focused on Loftus-Cheek, Trevor Chalobah, etc. But is Kai and Ziyech, I really hope they're fit for Christmas because Santa's coming to town, and my God, is he going to be ruthless this year? We have the Club World Cup. I hope they know that they're not playing well. And I think Tuchel's kind of said this, and that's why they weren't in the team. But I hope they know that I hope someone sat down with them and said, listen, boys, you're dropping stinkers and you need to sort that out because we might be fine right now with Timo and maybe Hudson-Odoi can play more left wing games. I thought he was all right, and I hope I see some more of him. Mason Mount comes into the team, does all right. Barkley, incredible pass with the impact. I'm not going to ask for much more from him, but it was a great impact that he made. etc. But you two, I know those two need to step up at some point, and I know their heads have to be in the game. Is anybody just worried about that attack? Because the only reason why I bring it up is because we've seen this issue consistently for the last, I don't know how many donkey's years, to be honest. It feels like quite a few years now where the attack is still not what it is, and it's early in the season, so we're still hoping that these chemistries and cohesions can start to bed in with Lukaku, and while it's still an issue, it's still going to worry me.
I'm not. You know why I'm not worried as yet? We are top of the table, and I want to ask you both. I don't think we've seen us play good football yet. Like, some people can say, Crystal Palace, but I still think we had at least 2-3 gears that we could have gone more in that game. Arsenal, we beat them, but I still think we could have smashed them and absolutely obliterated them out of the world. And then besides that, it's just been bits and pieces. One half good, some key moments have been good, some really clutch moments that we got away with. This is what gives me positivity that we are slowly progressing towards that ultimate 90 minutes. And hopefully from there, we can consistently play that. So that's one thing that gives me the comfort that having such a difficult start and not being at our best yet, still first, whoa, like that blew my mind. Teams like Liverpool have been playing really good and they're a bit behind us. Do you know what I mean? Which is strange. So that's one thing. And the other thing is players like Pulisic will have to return back. So, and he's got a lot to prove, man. He's got a lot to prove. If he's not hungry after he comes back this time, he will never, ever be hungry again. So that's a plus point. As you said, Matisse, Kai Havertz, and Ziyech. Ziyech, your Chelsea career is on the line. If you want to audition for Newcastle, you better start playing well now. Do you know what I mean? Like, those Newcastle money ain't coming for you. If at least do it for Newcastle. Do you know what I mean? That's the next thing. Kai Havertz, people call you generational and this, that, and the other. Like, it's time. It's time because we can't keep backing you all the time. You need to start putting the stats behind your name. So, players like Chalobah is coming off the bench and putting on masterclass for us. Ross Barkley is having an impact. So Ruben Loftus-Cheek, who we all gave up upon, is now all of a sudden, I just saw recent quotes, and I'm probably going to do a video on this later on, from the Athletic saying Thomas Tuchel went past him and said, "I can't believe you haven't played enough for Chelsea." It blew Thomas Tuchel's mind.
He really likes him, doesn't he? Yeah. Begs the question: why the hell did we sign Saúl Ñíguez? If he loves him this much, why did we sign Saúl Ñíguez? Because I personally thought we signed Saúl Ñíguez because when I heard him mention the midfielders, he said Jorginho, Kovac, and Kante, and then we don't have much after that. So I thought, okay, he doesn't really rate Loftus-Cheek that much, or he doesn't think Loftus-Cheek's going to be able to make that leap up from Fulham to Chelsea, maybe, even though he likes the profile of the player. And I said, all right, cool. That's why my opinion was formed. Well, if we're bringing in a fourth midfielder, well then, sure, damn it, Loftus-Cheek's not going to be fifth choice at this football club because he's far too talented for that. So let's go and let him go out on loan, let him get a permanent move, whatever. Let him go play for Lazio Sarri. Just go and let him play minutes because he needs to play football. He's a very good player. I'll be damned. Saúl Ñíguez is out here complaining, saying, listen, you made me promises, mate. I ain't seen the football pitch since I was born. With
Ruben, I think it's a case of, none of us expected it. None of us expected him to be playing in that double pivot.
But he's good there.
As well as he has been. Exactly, yeah. We all, and this is how he was under Sarri. We all remember him being a little bit more offensive, being as part of where you could say we're now playing those 2-10s in and around that position. And he's not getting into that role as far as I'm concerned, at least not now. Maybe he'd be an option, but it's all experimenting, isn't it? It's all about trying to find out combinations and trying to try different plays in different ways. And it's just clicked. I don't think Thomas Tuchel knew when the transfer window was going on, what he now knows about Loftus-Cheek in that role after trying him there. And that's probably why we end up getting Saúl, because I don't think at the time maybe Thomas Tuchel saw him playing in that position, much like none of us saw him playing in that position. But he's now played there and he's been brilliant. He's an option. So Saúl, it's gone a bit left. But wait and see.
The one thing I will say is that the midfield is still not balanced, in my opinion. But I think games like Southampton, like you said, you can have those two ball carriers in midfield and they can take turns with Kovac and roll off the sheet. But more time, you will probably need a sitter somewhere. And we've only got one sitter, and that's Jorginho. Everybody else is like a ball carrying, box-to-box midfielder. Yeah. So it's like 4-to-1 ratio. And that's not balanced. It's not really that healthy, but it is what it is. Yeah. But Loftus-Cheek, for me, I checked my old, like way back in the old tweets. I always felt if you're not going to play him in a 3, put him in a 2 pivot before you put him in the front 3, because this guy, forget defensively, he's got the physical attributes, but will he stay switched on and follow the movements defensively? That was always going to remain to be seen, but he's always been better driving from deep. You don't want to put Loftus-Cheek too high up the pitch, and this is where Fulham went wrong, and this is where Conte went wrong. You put him too high up the pitch, you wait for him to receive the ball. Why would you shackle and cage up someone with that amount of burst and drive to glide past players in midfield and put them up front and say, just wait for the ball, it will come to you, hold up the play? It doesn't make any sense. That's what's never made any sense to me. So it's a good position for him. It's probably his second best position after the midfield 3 and the 8. It's a way better option than when people were saying put Mount in there. Did not like that idea one bit. I think Mount is way better when you put him in the front 3 or you make him an 8. Don't want to see Mount in the double pivot at all. So I do like it, but I do think there's certain things about the team that, again, right wing back as well with no James, and then you move Hudson-Odoi, you kind of, Aspilicueta, to be fair to him, is getting assists And that debate on the TL the other day about him versus Ivanovic for the all-time Chelsea 11 was quite an interesting debate.
I think Aspi's got the highest assists at the moment
for any Chelsea fullback
for this season.
Yeah, probably.
But for the entire team,
yeah.
I think.
Oh, shit.
I think so. 3 assists in all comps.
Oh, God. Okay.
I don't think anyone else has got that yet.
That doesn't even surprise me because he always manages to do this. Like he did this under Lampard's first season. He got the most assists out of any fullback. I think he's got the most assists for any fullback in our history. I think he's obviously he's played a lot of games, but he is quietly very good at creating like some chances for the team in terms of crossing if you do give it to him in certain situations. But yeah, it's all a madness. But we won't go on for too much longer because more Squid Game to binge. I need to get back into my bunker. Oh God! But Younes, bro, let them know where to find you. And brilliant episode. Really enjoyed this one. It feels like it's been ages.
Yeah, it does, and it's only been since last week. No, it's been quality. We'll see what goes on. Obviously, it's international break at the moment, so it's all a little bit quiet. But over on Younes Talks Football, I'm talking about all the ins and outs of what's going on, any big football news, keeping it Chelsea as well in terms of just anything that pops up or any bits of analysis that needs to be done or whatnot. So it's just constant content. Got a few collabs coming, I think, these 2 weeks, including you guys if you're up for it. So yes, we'll see. Exclusive here, come over. But
I'm only around the corner, mate.
He actually is.
Just pop into the screen.
But that's pretty much it up until the international break ends, and then we go back to all the football. So that's basically it.
Thank God. I've got a video coming very soon about 3 reasons why I hate international football, but that'll be dropping soon. Viz, what about you, bro? Brilliant episode, and let them know where to find you and what you got coming up.
Yeah, man, I'm just getting back to doing more videos and doing just like what the boys are doing, Younes and Yannick, and just providing my opinion on different news. I'm not covering every single Chelsea news out there. Whatever sort of I feel, okay, I've got a bit of opinion about this, I'll put it out there, see what people have to say about that. And then any sort of interesting Chelsea rumours, like I did a video with Adrian from Rabona TV, who's a massive Benfica fan. And we talked about Darwin Núñez and Julian Weigl, who's been linked with Chelsea. And Thomas Tuchel knows everything about Julian Weigl. Like Matisse was saying, we don't have a proper replacement for Jorginho. Julian Weigl is the perfect.
Apparently he's having a good season as well.
He's having a boss season, man. Absolute boss season over there. So yeah, bits and pieces like that. Streams are more sort of maybe a once a week sort of thing. If I feel like, okay, I want to connect with a live stream now and just see what people have to say. So it's been better at the moment. I mean, it is going to be a bit of a grind and, building that base up again from doing streams to videos. But yeah, no, it's been good. So that's what's coming up. I'm probably going to do a Ruben Loftus-Cheek one later tonight.
Well, there you are, guys. For me, obviously, there was no London Clubs carnage yesterday. I'm sure most of you would have figured out why. Obviously, rest in peace to Chig, and that put Lee out of contention for that one big time, because obviously that's been a very difficult few days for him and a lot of the Arsenal fan base and really everyone that was connected with him. So we decided to leave that weekly show out for this week. I do have content coming up for you guys in terms of obviously Deontay Wilder versus Tyson Fury. That live stream should be taking place on Saturday. I'm not here. There will be a live stream on this channel if Saj keeps to his word and keeps to his promise and he does it. He'll be doing it on his own, though. It'll be his own first solo stream. We did one for the AJ versus Usyk fight. That was a lot of fun. But in terms of combat sports, Saj knows 10 times more than me in terms of that. He's big onto that. He made the prediction, in fact, that Usyk would beat AJ and went against the whole chat and obviously won that. So if that stream does happen Saturday night, he'll be doing that on his own. But that'll be, you guys know Saj well enough on this channel at this point. That's more than acceptable. I'm sure there won't be any sort of fire drill or any sort of madness that will take place. I'm sure the channel will still be in one piece without me. And I've got a really good skit.
And that's a 5 a.m. That's a 5 a.m. fight, I think. So
well, then God help him. God rest his soul. I won't be here for that.
I don't think he sleeps. I think he'll be up for that.
I didn't know what time it was.
He's like
that's why I'm not involved.
They go to bed at like 10 a.m. in the morning. You know what I mean?
I don't have a sleep schedule, to be honest. It's whatever happens really. Lateness is greatness. But I mean, I've got a lot of pre-recorded stuff coming out. Like I said, I've got 3 reasons why I hate the international break coming out soon as well for you guys. That was all combated, counterpointed and debated by Saj as well with me in that video. And I've also got a Rudiger skit that I want to try and film as well before I go away for a little break as well. It's going to be like a therapy video with Rudiger related, but a therapy video. And if I can get that filmed before I depart tomorrow lunchtime, that would be great, because I've got a great concept. It's going to have to involve Yannick, because I wanted to use blue therapy, but Trend Central already used that for their show. And now the only other therapy I can think of is football therapy, but that's Yannick's channel. So now I'm going to have to be like, yo, Yan, can I use your thing? And maybe we can incorporate and maybe put you. So it's all going to be a madness. So, yeah. So it's going to be a madness if I can get it filmed. And I've got a few other ideas in the pipeline. So hopefully that can all get launched up and put out before next week's next round of weekly shows. And yeah, big up to everybody. And thanks for watching. I hope you guys are enjoying the pre-records. If you are, big up yourselves. If you're missing the lives, you'll get used to it. And if you want more lives, go to Twitch later, 10 p.m, me and Flawless. That's where you'll get your live. But yeah, smash the likes, people. And I'll catch you next time. In a bit, people. Peace. We'll be right back.